So, well, I don't know how to greet everyone in this liminal moment as we are marking the end of Shabbat and the end of Pesach. This is such a delight. Charlie, Renee, and I had an idea that it would be really nice for us as a whole movement, and many of you indeed have taken us up on it, to finish Pesach together. Something that I always think is that we are better as Jews at beginning things than we are at ending and marking the endings. All of us fall with great enthusiasm into the beginning of Shabbat, beginning of festivals, and we often don't end together in this way. So this is such a poignant moment that maybe will resonate with many of us to mark the end of Shabbat and the end of Pesach. We talk a great deal of Elijah being the prophet that never died formally and is invited to these liminal moments of Jewish practice, both the circumcision of baby boys, the end of Shabbat, Havdalah, and indeed the Seder. And how do we talk of Elijah? Elijah turns the hearts of parents to children and children to their parents. And in a sense, this festival, more than any other, is a festival of generations and connections. And I am sure that each of the liberal communities that are gathered here tonight have had an experience of that through their own Pesach, marking their Sadarim, their services. So this feels very special for us to be together. And tonight is, if we count the Omer together, the seventh night, the first week of the Omer. And perhaps this whole year of the pandemic, literally almost a year, as we know, for us to have had our Seder last year in these conditions, and here we are again. We are no strangers as Jews to counting, and we are counting the first week that will take us from Pesach all the way to Shavuot, stopping off at the Liberal Judaism Biennial at the end of this month now to allow us to see these Jewish pointers of gathering together. So I'd really like to invite everyone as we mark this seventh night of the Omer, as we mark this ability to all be together, and we're loving seeing your messages, greetings from Dublin, from Norwich, all the communities that are here, say Shehechianu together for having really managed to reach this moment and to be gathering together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. So we have asked our chair and vice chair of Liberal Judaism to help us make Havdalah even more meaningful by sharing with us something that they feel pleased to be ending and looking forward to beginning, as a way to bring a little kavanah in Havdalah tonight. So over to you, Karen, first. I'm falling on you.
I'm not sure I can quite manage kavanah, because the thing I'm looking forward to leaving behind is looking like some kind of 1970s footballer with this bizarre hair that is so incredibly unkempt. And I'm looking forward to leaving that behind and looking as though I didn't forget everything around, just basic routine around the hair. So I'm looking forward to that. The new beginning I'm really looking forward to is after the LJY Shnat year were turned back at Luton Airport at the gate on December the 20th, and they've been here waiting ever since. Will it, won't it, will it be possible for them ever to go to Israel? It looks as though we are tentatively hopeful that they may yet fly out this Thursday, which is tremendously exciting for them. And it's that should be the beginning of a wonderful journey for them. And although it's not the first time we've been packing suitcases and looking into insurance and trying to get everything, because we did that in December, if it happens and if they take off, it will be the beginning of what I hope will be a wonderful experience for Lily, for Tally, who I don't know if Tally's on the call, but I can see that Rabbi Margaret Jacobi is with us now. And of course, the rest of her group also from RSY. So that should be a tremendous beginning for them.
Lovely, Karen. Thanks so much. And you, Ruth?
Well, mine seems rather trivial, really. So after things in LJ settle down and, Charlie's appointment and Shelley, I thought I could go back to work. So I went back to work for part-time as a physics teacher. And so I finished my first half term doing that, working partly online with people I couldn't see, and then meeting them in class and realizing they were much bigger than I expected and rather more numerous. And so I've just finished, and I just think I'm really actually glad to have got through the beginning of that, and I'm really looking forward to a couple of weeks off. Is what I'm, the beginning thing, and so I've been reading a book today, all sorts of things. Anyway,
lovely, how lovely. That's so nice. Thank you so much, Karen and Ruth, as our chair and vice chair. And it occurs to me that I haven't introduced myself and Renee, who, so I'm Rebecca Burt, Rabbi of Finchley Progressive Synagogue, and with Rabbi Renee Fertzel, co-chairs of Kol Rak, rabbinic conference that was. And so just as I hand over to Renee to be leading Havdalah, just couldn't resist the verse that we read in today's Torah portion, Shirat Hayam. So, of course, behold, God is my salvation. Therefore, I am confident and unafraid. Ki ozi v'zimratia vayihili lishua. The eternal God is my strength and my shield and has become my salvation. The words of Havdalah and those words that are repeated or that echo, anticipate from Torah. Kos Yeshuot Esa uvashem Adonai Ekra. I will lift up the cup of salvation and call out your name in praise. Renee.
Thank you, Rebecca. Chag Sameach. I mean, it's the last few hours we can actually say Chag Sameach to each other. It's really great to be able to be with the whole Liberal Judaism family all over the country and beyond, especially this year where Pesach was really understood as a long process of leaving behind us the narrow places of Egypt and hopefully getting to a better place in the coming month. Nobody can actually foresee what's going to happen, but it's a better place than we were a year ago. So what I'm going to do with you, I'm going to invite you to open your prayer books on page 5, 6, 7. We're going to do the Havdalah for the conclusion of Shabbat, and we will add the special final blessing, which is on page 577 at the end. So if you have your glasses and your lights and everything, please join me. Page 567. הנה אל ישועתי אפתר ולא אפחד, כי עוזי וזמרתי אדוני, ויהי לי לישועה. ושפתם מים בששון, ממענה הישועה, אדוני הישועה. על עמך וחתך סלה, כוס ישועות אשא, ובשם אדוני אקחה. Lai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai la la lai lai la la lai ya lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai la lai la 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 lai lai la la lai ya la lai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן, בורא פרי הגפן, אמן. La 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei vesamim borei minei vesamim Amen. La 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei haesh borei meorei haesh. Amen. And we turn to page 577. Lai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai la la lai lai la la lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam המבדיל בין קודש לחול, בין קודש לחול, אמן. בין אור לחושך, בין יום טוב לימות החול. ברוך אתה אדוני, המבדיל בין קודש לחול, אמן. לי לי לה 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 לי 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 la 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 la. Let us give thanks for the festival we now conclude, for what we have learned from it and for the pleasure it has given us. As we have celebrated this festival together, so may we celebrate other festivals together in freedom, peace, and joy. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, for you have taught us to distinguish between holy and mundane, light and darkness, between holy days and ordinary days. We praise you, O God, for teaching us to distinguish between holy and mundane. Amen. Shavua Tov.
Amen. Shavua Tov.
Amen.
Charlie?
Thank you. Thank you for...
We can't hear you. Charlie, we can't hear you. Meanwhile, everyone else can say Shavua Tov to each other while Charlie just...
Now you can hear me.
Now we can hear you.
It went automatically to Bluetooth headphones in the wonderful way that tech, which beautifully leads me into what I want to end this wonderful Havdalah. And thank you to Renee and to Rebecca, to Karen and to Ruth for leading us in a really beautiful Havdalah. And Rebecca introduced those words from Karen and Ruth with this idea of beginnings and endings. And in the last words that Renee spoke about, teach us to know the light from the darkness, the holy from the mundane. And it strikes me that actually it's often that what we do in Judaism is that in those moments of darkness, we bring light. And in those moments of light, we also remember the dark. And in those moments of mundane, of getting up in the morning, we introduce holiness. And that's what we're good at as Jews, and we're good at as Jewish communities, and that beginnings are, as Rebecca said, we're good at beginnings and we're not always so good at endings, but actually it's that space between the beginnings and the endings that perhaps we have the strength to bring together today, and what is really highlighted by today, because it has been a dark period for many, with moments of light, but a dark period and a difficult period. And yet, as Josie said to me, we look around this room and we see how many communities have come together and how easy it was today for Rebecca and Renee to put a call out and say to people, let's celebrate Havdalah together. And suddenly we've got 62 participants, 62 rooms with even more people from around the country, from our liberal Jewish family coming together. And that in this moment of darkness, actually, we've come together in a greater way as a community. And many of you will hear my favorite Leonard Cohen quote of, it's the cracks, that's how the light gets in. But it is exactly like a Havdalah that we take the light from the Shabbat with us for the rest of the week. The sweetness stays in our nostrils, like the taste of matzah maybe take with us to after Pesach goes. But that I hope my blessing for us as a community is that as this roadmap hopefully takes us out of COVID, as we say goodbye and end this period, that we take these moments of light of what it really means to be a community together, that we are much stronger as the combination of our parts than as individuals, that we take that light into the years ahead of us, and that I'm just really grateful for the power of community I feel tonight, but I've also felt during this whole year. And so with that thought, I really hope that strengthens us not only into the week ahead, but into the years that follow.
Amen.
Thank you. Back to you.
Amen. Thanks, Charlie. So really the line that Renee sang and that we sang also from Shirat Hayam, the Song of the Sea, Oziva Zimrat Yah. So how do we find strength and salvation in ourselves to keep us going, to feel positive, as Owen said, coming out of Pesach, feeling positive for Liberal Judaism as a member of Bono and our Board of National Officers, working hard to navigate our way and to get stronger, more thoughtful, more sensitive, more responsive as we move out of Pesach into the building of community. So Shavua Tov, everyone. Renee, I don't know if you want to add something.
Yeah, I just wanted to suggest we all unmute ourselves when we sing together Oziv Zimratia, and like the Havdalah candles, all these flames together. Let's do this together. Okay? Oziv Zimratia Vayhili Lishua Oziv Zimratia Vayehi Lishua Oziv Zimratia Vayehi Lishua Oziv Zimratia Shavuot, how wonderful it is to hear all our voices, even the Zoom is not really good for singing, but at least we have a feel of all these people behind the screen. So Shavuot Tov, and we have planned a movement-wide Erev Shavuot study session for all of us. So please stay tuned. You will hear more about what rabbis and communities are offering to movement for the night of Shavuot. Gosh, I can hear my voice now. It goes somewhere, I don't know. Bye-bye. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Shavuot Tov.
Bye.
Bye. Shavuot Tov.